Good day, Dr. Amalea. I'm Disa Tokwabe and I'll be doing a video presentation for the work that we worked on as a group. This week we're focusing on building a community of practice, which is defined by Wenger and Snyder as a group of people who share concern or passion for something they do and learn how to do it better as they interact regularly. And it is characterized by mutual learning, joint shared practices, and joint exploration. Learning and creation of new knowledge takes place within a forum of community and can be shared through social practice. How we went about forming our CoP: we are a group that is passionate about self-development through furthering our studies, and we also have a shared goal of completing the postgraduate diploma in business leadership as we have enrolled. And most importantly, our CoP was formed to work together and collaborate towards formulating a solution for training the human capital at Cabbage as their business expands and grows. And this is how our CoP is made up of. I'm Disa Tokwabe, the leader of a community, and I'm a finance graduate who am currently a manager at Nissan SA as a corporate strategy manager, and my expertise is coordination, planning, and problem solving. We also have Nadia Grammar, who is a tutor of business science, a graduate in marketing and management. She has experience in working for AfriSam in marketing and communication, and what she actually contributed in the team was setting up the tools that we used as our virtual headquarters in the group. And we also have Titus Hendrik, a banking professional at ABSA, and he possesses both financial and leadership skills. He has strong ability to see the bigger picture, and that actually played a huge role in coordinating this presentation. We also have Clive Rangata, a qualified architect who is currently in the employ of the Department of Correctional Services, and he has an ability to analyze and critically assess problems. He brought to the team imaginative and creative thinking, as well as her critical assessment of tasks. We also, lastly, it's Ida Maha, a qualified Masters of Public Administration, having majored in Economics and Management, and is currently employed by the Limpopo Legislature as a committee coordinator. And she played a significant role in ensuring that the CoP works with a goal in mind, solving the problem that we have we're working on for Cabbage. Okay, so now the process that we followed to build our CoP, we literally followed a guideline as outlined by BAPAS 2014, and it prescribes 10 steps that we followed as we formulated our CoP. Firstly, we ought to have a clear objective or purpose in mind. Our CoP came together mainly to formulate a solution for a problem of training the human capital at Cabbage as their business expands in size and also increasing their number of employees, and this resulting in the growth in the company. Secondly, is establish a corporate learning community of practice. The collaboration of the 5 members mentioned above, which took place during your lecture on Saturday, which was the second face-to-face session, that is where our CoP actually was established, and we literally formed a WhatsApp group where we started communicating, and that was our communication platform. And furthermore, we kind of stipulated the timelines with which we are going to work or come together to meet to ensure that we have a problem and we are working towards solving a problem at Cabbage, as we have identified already. That step is be aware of experience and knowledge of each member as they bring to the table, and I've already expanded on that earlier on. We ought to have an introductory meeting for all members as step number 4. This was had in your class during the session when you walked around. And yes, on step number 5, a moderator is key to the success of any learning CoP. And yes, as explained earlier on, I am the leader, a moderator. And step number 6, hold regular meetings to share knowledge and strengthen communication. A CoP communicated online regularly throughout the week to share ideas on how to work towards fully understanding the problem that we're facing at Cabbage and how to best formulate a solution and have recommendations on the issue on training. And step number 7, use social media platforms and online forums to keep in touch. And yes, I have already said we used WhatsApp as a means of communication, and also we kept up to date with, we communicated regularly, be it on emails as well, to make sure that all the members are on board. Step number 8 is project management software tools can serve as virtual headquarters. This is exactly what we did. Nadia literally set up a Google Drive where we could weigh in all ideas and all the suggestions that all the other members had as we worked towards getting a solution and our recommendations for Cabbage. And on step number 9, offer support and resources to fledgling communities. COP relied on structural capital that Monash made available to us as students, as we used emails, and also we also worked a lot with the MSA libraries as we were sourcing literature for this presentation. And the last step is hold a community-wide survey to identify issues and areas of improvement. Well, our COP is here to have this feedback session to analyze issues identified. So this will happen probably later on. Okay, now we looked at the tools that, so we looked at the process. Now looking at the tools that we used to create our community of practice, I've already mentioned WhatsApp, and we also used the Google Drive as our virtual headquarters. And this presentation actually was prepared on Microsoft Outlook. And yes, I've already also mentioned the databases, which is MSA library. And of course, the internet was used to source for more information that we worked with. Now, I want to take my time to kind of look at the problem that we're having at Cabbage, which is training and upskilling of Cabbage's human capital as the business grows. Firstly, looking at human capital, it is the first element in the intellectual capital definition, right? And literally, it is defined as the collective experience, skills, and general know-how of the company's employees. And it makes up the 3 relational capital being the second one, as well as structural capital. But yes, for this study, we looked at human capital at Cabbage, which they will need as the business grows. Then they will need training, and they will need further upskilling, because you ought to remember that Cabbage is a high-tech company, so it's quite imperative that the employees, which is human capital, are highly skilled and stay competitive at all times to ensure that the company sustain their performance. So we did say that it is a high-tech company. So now as the business expands, this we saw in the case study where Cabbage has increased their customer reach, now having to get both locally, having to service both local and international customers. And also we saw additional revenue streams being mentioned in the case study as well. So all this, now we also thinking about our problem, we actually saw all this growing in numbers and in size, and literally Cabbage sourcing out more people, be it new employees and existing people in the industry, to help sustain the business and to ensure that the business actually grows and performs and sustains good performance. Now this will ensuring that upskilling happens at Cabbage's human capital will ensure that the company sustains its competitive advantage, and also it becomes a top performer above all the other fintech companies in the industry, right? Now, it's imperative that Cabbage actually declare the strategic business priority as they should declare learning as a business strategy, because for any company to grow, the human capital is at the center of it, right? And to achieve this, Cabbage should ensure that its human capital is consistently trained. This talk about training at regular periods, and to ensure, as their systems and their processes evolve, the employees need to be trained as well. And training is actually refers to the bridging of the gap between current performance and the desired performance. And for Cabbage requires effective training programs to improve and develop the desired knowledge and skills and abilities of its employees. So our COP evaluated the following training, for training the human capital at Cabbage. We kind of looked at the methods that Cabbage could use. We also wanted to make sure that the company promotes a culture of learning. Obviously, if they are to make it a business priority, then it's imperative that they promote a culture of learning. New employees also need to quickly learn their ways of doing business. This needs to happen quickly, and also they should ensure that they avoid downtime during system upgrades and adopting new technologies. So what we recommended is literally aimed at growing skills in high volume in a shorter time, and we recommended e-learning programs as we think they are more effective, and yes, there are ways to learn that companies adopt these days. and this will drive more people learning and developing their skills, as this will happen during their own time and at their own pace. So we looked at the approach that Cisco followed, which is e-learning, and it was fast moving, result orientated, and with Cabbage as a high-tech company, this seems like a very good approach that they could also follow. And we also looked at regular assessments which they could use to evaluate the skills or levels of the level of skills at the human capital at Cabbage. Okay, so now we also looked at the benefits of training, and it includes increased efficiencies in processing loan applications, and as well as better ways or quicker ways to transfer funds to the to the applicants at Cabbage. And this will also increase its capacity to adopt new technologies and methods, and it will mostly increase job satisfaction and morale of their human capital, and in turn reduce employee turnover. And I think this is where we end our presentation. Thank you.